A blessed morning to all of you out there. Thank you for joining us this morning. And thank you for allowing us into your private space, into your homes, offices, and wherever you may be. Maraming salamat po. Today is 7723, meaning it's July 7, 2023. And it's a weekend. We're going into the weekend. It's a Friday. And I do hope you are all ready for the weekend, as hot as it probably will be. Thank you for being Cignal TV subscribers, viewers of One News, and of course, watching Agenda on channels 8 and 250. Maraming salamat po to those who watch us via Facebook and YouTube, whether here in the far-flung areas or in Canada, in the US, and other parts of the world. Thank you for joining us. And today we are going to be speaking with someone from the Department of Justice on a variety of subjects, a variety of topics that the Department of Justice is tackling, challenged with, and acting on. So whether it's onion smuggling, whether it's criminality, whether it is the deplorable state of prosecutors and investigators handling cases. We will tackle all of that later this morning. So please stay with us. In the meantime, I'd like to start the day by thanking PLDT for their home fiber optic internet. We are partners, sister companies, and their support is much appreciated because they allow us to broadcast from Baguio, Batangas, Iloilo, Cebu, etc. Wherever there is PLDT home fiber optic internet, buhay ang agenda. Today, let's go to our daily starter, and it comes from thought leader, mentor, guru, Craig Groeschel, okay? And it goes, someone's inability to see your worth does not decrease your value. I was thinking about this earlier, and I was trying to find something that would be befitting this daily starter. Someone's inability to see your worth doesn't decrease your value. And the first thing I remembered are basketball players, athletes, performers na nababangko or who sit it out in the bench because the coach, the team leader, or the director, whatever, does not see their value because the director, whether it's in a dance company, in a basketball team, volleyball team, or in a company, is so focused on winning or having such a great outcome that they focus on the visibly dominant players, performers. Kumbaga, laging yung principal performer na lang ang naiisip. And that can be at home as well. I was just talking with my wife yesterday about the middle child because we know someone who is the middle child, and he's been busy posting a lot of stuff on Facebook. And I said, well, that is the middle child trying to assert himself. And that may be just what you need to do. If someone does not value your worth or does not see your worth, then you need to assert your self-worth or your value in the situation or elsewhere. Sabi nga nila, if you are not appreciated in one place, find your place in the sun, okay? But don't give up. Don't be despondent. That's happened to me many times in life, times where I tried so hard but people did not see my work, did not see where I could contribute. Instead, they focused on the best players, the best performers, and the outcomes. So just go find your own place or create your own space. Assert yourself. I hope that helps. Anyway, let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star today. And apparently what I felt yesterday was so true. The front page headline of the Philippine Star for July 7, 2023, Earth, hindi na the Philippines, hindi na Southeast Asia, Earth, buong mundo, scorches for third straight day. And the photo that's on the screen is a photo all over the world of people suffering or trying to find ways to cope, to survive global heat. For a third day, Wednesday, it was the hottest day on Earth as the global average temperature matched the record of 17.18 Celsius or centigrade set Tuesday, and comes after a previous record that was set Monday. In other words, whether you're in China, America, in Texas, etc., everybody was suffering from the heat. Okay. At the top of the front page, DOJ building economic sabotage case versus onion cartel. The Department of Justice, through its secretary, Boying Remulla, has said that they are building their case for economic sabotage against the onion cartel that was mentioned, referred to in congressional investigations, and they have been conducting their own investigations. Meanwhile, the Department of Tourism urged turn over ad probe report to Congress. Okay, it would be best for Tourism Secretary Cristina Garcia Frasco to turn over to Congress the results of the Department of Tourism's internal investigation on its campaign slogan that embarrassed the Philippines for using stock video footage of other countries. This was the unsolicited advice of Congressman Joey Salceda, okay, amidst calls for her immediate resignation. Okay, well, either she does that, what was suggested, or she will inevitably probably have to present it to Congress if Congress investigates. Okay. Meanwhile, okay, Twitter killer, Meta launches Threads app. Okay, Meta, formerly known as Facebook, has launched their competition app versus Twitter called Threads. Okay, so yan po, no, the announcement of the social media app Threads is displayed in Apple's App Store on the screen of a smartphone yesterday. Meta is poised to launch a new app that appears to mimic Twitter in a direct challenge to the social media platform owned by billionaire Elon Musk, okay, or Elon Musk. Meta is the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, and Chief Executive Officer Mark Zuckerberg celebrated 10 million signups in 7 hours in his official account on Threads. Now, I just got a heads up while Mark Zuckerberg is enjoying. Turns out that the name Threads is also the name of a long-established sewing magazine, international sewing magazine. So what are the possibilities that Meta will end up having to buy Threads or pay someone a hell of a lot of money for copyright infringement or intellectual property. Ayan na. Huwag kayong basta-basta nagmamadali. Okay. Marcos to sign Agrarian Emancipation Act today. President Marcos will sign into law today the new Agrarian Emancipation Act, which will officially condone at least 58 billion pesos in arrears or utang incurred by more than 600,000 farmer beneficiaries from his late father's land reform program under Presidential Decree 27, including agrarian reform beneficiaries under the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform program of the late former President Corazon Aquino. Ayan po. So in other words, several presidents, Marcos and Aquino, Cory Aquino, gave out land under agrarian reform under the arrangements that payments would be made, etc. Kung binigay nyo na lang, di tapos na, wala nang accumulated or compounding debts, etc. Meanwhile, executive order to hasten Philippine exit from money laundering list. President Bongbong Marcos has signed the executive order instructing all government offices to comply with the requirements of the money laundering watchdog so that we could exit the strict monitoring until we are totally declared no longer ang tawag nila, no longer a suspect or a conduit for money launderers. Ang problema, hindi po government agency. Problema yung mga nag-i-import ng 82 units of Ferraris. Yun ang money laundering. Saan ka nakakita nag-i-import ng mga Ferrari? Hindi na tax evasion when you spend billions of pesos importing luxury cars into the Philippines and then smuggling them pa. Medyo mag-isip na kayo na may money laundering nangyayari dyan. Okay. COMELEC warns versus vote buying in BSKE or barangay and sangguniang kabataan elections. Nako po, ayan na. Okay, the Commission on Election has warned candidates against buying votes in all forms as this year's barangay sangguniang kabataan elections approach. We are cautioning everyone that anything of value, may it be an object, service, or assistance during a partisan political activity in which they expect something in return may be considered vote buying, COMELEC spokesman John Rex Laudianco said in Filipino in an interview Wednesday night with the chiefs on Cignal TV's One News. Okay. We always hear this warning from the COMELEC and it is good that they are advising everyone pag may tinanggap kayo, pagkain, t-shirt, tuwalya, 500 pesos or 1,000 pesos for being in a political rally or campaign, that is considered vote buying. The problem is that the COMELEC needs to arrest people, charge people, and send them to jail. Kasi kung puro kayo daldal, walang mangyayari. In the last presidential election, naka-video na kung saan-saan. Wala namang kayong nagawa. Okay? So, yan. Quiet na lang kung wala kayong magagawa. Okay. Meanwhile, key officials and alternate board of directors of the National Home Mortgage Finance Corporation recently paid a courtesy visit to newly appointed Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Governor Eli Remolona. Meron palang bagong Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Governor. Congratulations. Okay? NHFMC is the sole government entity engaged in securitization. Ayun, firing squad photo sila. And congratulations to the newly appointed Bangko Sentral Governor. Okay, let's take a break for now. And after the break, we will continue with the program, with the news, and hopefully with our interview for the day.
on today's agenda. Filipinos endured the high cost of onions in the previous months. The price of onions, which is a staple in the Filipino cuisine, skyrocketed to 600 pesos per kilo. One of the major factors behind this, the government says, is the smuggling of onions into the country. That's why the Justice Department is planning to file a case of economic sabotage against traders who are allegedly involved in onion smuggling. Justice Secretary Boying Remulla said his department and the NBI, or the National Bureau of Investigation, are collecting evidence to support their case. DOJ is also looking into 6 or 7 names involved in the reported smuggling. How will the Justice Department ensure their case is strong against the onion cartel? Let's discuss that on today's agenda. Aside from dealing with onion smugglers in the country, the Justice Department also has to deal with other internal and external issues. One put into question is the health of DOJ Secretary Boying Remulla after undergoing a heart bypass surgery. Remulla went to a 10-day wellness leave on June 26 and is set to officially return to work next week. Aside from this, the DOJ continues to face the Roel Dagamos Ley case. Just recently, the NBI submitted additional evidence to prove the identities of the gunmen involved in the murder of the Negros Oriental governor. The agency is also trying to improve coordination with law enforcers after the Supreme Court slammed the authorities' reprehensible handling of a 1 billion peso illegal drug case, one that led to the acquittal of all suspects. Adding to that, the agency also said that at least 90% of criminal complaints filed by law enforcers and prosecutors are dismissed due to technicalities and inadequate evidence. How does the agency plan on handling all these cases and issues? That's another topic for today's agenda.
Okay, those are the topics that we had lined up for today's agenda. And at 8:23, we don't have a guest. Okay? You are probably going, what? Yes, mga kababayan, our scheduled interview with Attorney Mico Clavano, the official spokesperson of the DOJ, informed us, or at least his office informed us, that they have something more important or very important to attend to, so they canceled. They actually ghosted us kasi this has been several days in the making, confirmed, but suddenly we have been ghosted. Sabi nga nila, ano ba yung sabi ng isang meme? If people ghost you, respect the dead and move on. So we are not going to, I am not going to rant, but I have no choice but to carry on my conversation with all of you. So pasensya na po kayo if I will do a 35-minute or however long monologue. Kaya naman, because I used to do this. Here's the update. Gabriel Malyari, our executive producer, said they told us that they want to cancel at 8:10. Okay? 8:10 in the morning. Okay? So they canceled. Ganun na lang po. Okay? But okay lang because to those who are not aware, I used to do a radio program with DWW and also with DCMM. And when I was with Channel 2 with ABS-CBN, and I can do a monologue for 2 hours straight. And I've done that, okay? But it's not about the capacity of being able to do the monologue, but, it gives us food for thought. Because in fairness to Mr. Clavano, he's not the first individual to do a last-minute cancellation. We have had several last-minute cancellations from various government officials but not this close to the program. Kumbaga, may magka-cancel the night before or 2 hours before, and it gives us enough room to call a friend. Kumbaga, marami tayo siyang mga kaibigan, which is what Gab Malyari and Team Agenda is now doing. They're calling a friend, but it's also embarrassing. Kasi we have to tell our friends, boss, kuya, ate, ma'am, sir, nag-bail out po. Tumakas po yung guest ni Kuya Cito, help naman. So, but it's, but the point I'm making here is, this is what the program agenda and yours truly have to deal with every so often. We are trying to give space. We are trying to give opportunity to our government officials, whether they are in the Department of Agriculture, in the Department of Justice, and to be fair with Mico Clavano, he has appeared on the program, so fair is fair. Ito lang, medyo masakit last minute. We've also given opportunity to the Civil Aeronautics Board. Okay, so and other offices, and they've ghosted us or canceled last minute. And it tells us, okay, of the state or attitude of certain personalities or individuals, because professionalism dictates that when you make an appointment, a commitment, out of respect to the person you did that made that appointment with, you should appear. You not just appear, you should appear on time or a few minutes earlier. That's one. Number two, in terms of being a individual, you must have word of honor. Hindi po pinag-uusapan dito yung, ginos siya, hindi po. This is a reflection of character. Okay? When you suddenly just turn your back or walk away after making a commitment, it speaks badly about your character. But more than that, being in media, what we are trying to do is give space, to be fair, opportunity. And how can the media help government officials promote, explain, talk about their programs, their situations, if these people do not have that word of honor or sense of professionalism. And we always get blamed. People always blame media for many things, that media is this, media is that. Pero ang problema po, hindi naman kami. Nagbigay kami puwang, hindi naman kayo nagpakita. Anyway, today, we were supposed to talk about onion cartels, about what the DOJ is doing, etc. But first things first, Secretary Boying Remulla, I mean, we were neighbors. We may not have grown up together. I'm a little older than him, but we are familiar with each other. Our parents, our fathers were familiar with each other. So there is a familiarity there. Okay. Now, I start with Secretary Boying Remulla because in the Metro page of the Philippine Star today, the headline goes, Remulla won't resign despite heart surgery. I don't know about resignations or suggestions that he resign, but I would suggest to Boying Remulla, Secretary Remulla, boss, mag-time out ka muna. Yan ay open heart surgery or bypass. Okay, I don't know if it was open heart or whatever, but you've had a bypass. I have 5 stents, okay, in my plumbing sa puso, my artery, my vein, whatever it is. I have 5 stents, and you know, more than anything, that tells us that we have a serious medical condition, or at least you have just gone through one. And, you know, bravado, commitment to, you know, to your duty, etc., loyalty to the president. None of that is going to be worth 1 centavo if you end up again in the hospital. You need to rest, okay? And this goes out to all of you. To all of you who might be feeling bad, feeling weak, feeling sick. Ako po, 2 times na, okay? I saved myself from a major heart attack just because I paid attention to my body. How did this happen? On the first occasion, I was at the station on in Cignal, in the TV media center, TV5 media center, and going up the ramp. Hindi po ito matarik. It's not a steep stairway or hill or anything. It's just a mild slope going up the ramp. I said, but para akong hinihingal. I shouldn't be feeling this way. 2 days in a row, I went to my cardiologist, Dr. Marlu Mendoza, and I said, you know, Doc, pakicheck nga. And true enough, I had a blockage in one of my arteries. Before that, I went to vote in the barangay election or national election. I walked 200 meters yata yun, or 300 meters. And going back, I didn't make it home. I ended up having to sit in the sidewalk and rest, catch my breath because I could barely breathe. That was the first time, and turned out I had a serious blockage. Now, going back to Secretary Remulla, you should be resting. Kahit anong tigas ng ulo natin, kahit anong tapang natin, you have no control over your body. You think you do, but if your heart decides, well, you want to make life difficult for me, let's just end it, and then, ayan, atakihin ka sa puso, patay ka. Everything you think, say, and do becomes meaningless when you're dead. So please, Secretary Remulla, as a friend, okay, I'm asking you, take a break. Sabi nga ni dating congressman, dating governor ng Isabela Jr. D, yung trabaho, pag iniwanan mo yan sa mesa mo ng Biyernes, okay? When you leave that pile of work on top of your desk on a Friday afternoon, it will be there on Monday morning welcoming you with open arms, okay? So that's for Secretary Boying Remulla. In all sincerity, please take a break. Okay, now, as far as the issues concerned under the DOJ, according to Secretary Remulla, they are building their case, and the thing is they really need to catch these smugglers red-handed or in the act. Unfortunately, that is easier said than done. It will, if anything, DOJ will have to do a case build-up the same way that Congresswoman Kimbo is doing in Congress, okay? Paano? Iniimbestiga niya, she's gathering data, gathering evidence, talking to witnesses, etc. And the DOJ with the NBI can easily do that. You simply get all the records, the arrivals, the receipts, the bills of lading, etc., yung mga documents sa shipping, sa customs, and you will be able to piece the puzzle together. It takes a while, but it's a solid case because the problem here is there is conspiracy to make money, okay? There is conspiracy all the way from buying the products in China or wherever it is bought, shipping them, misdeclaring them. There is co-conspirators in the Bureau of Customs, BIR, even in the logistics. Lahat yan, they're covering it up kasi malaking kita dyan. And of course, may mga politicians behind that as well, kumikindat. That has been history in the Bureau of Customs, and marami po dyan. May mga in the past, I don't know now, pero reports indicate that there are people in Congress and in the Senate and other agent departments, may mga bata-bata sa customs. At bakit? Eh, syempre, may kita. Okay, so as far as getting the onion cartel pinned down, edi yung BIR, ano ang ginagawa? Excuse me, ano ang ginagawa ng BIR? Kasi BIR, you just have to do a lifestyle check, a check of financials, etc. If you're claiming, if Congress is claiming that there is an onion queen, onion cartel, etc., imbestigahan yung kanilang mga financials. Eh, nagawa yan during the time of martial law to harass members of media and the opposition. Eh, why can't it be done now against enemies of the state? Okay, we'll go for a quick break. At babalitaan lang daw ako ni Gab Malyari. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, if you need a friend, call a friend, and we did just that. And pagdating sa maasahan sa bungero at eksperto. Okay, we have with us on the line my fellow sa bungero, but better than that, he's the former Secretary of Agriculture who has not stopped trying to promote the interest of farmers, producers, and the agricultural sector. We have with us Secretary Manny Piñol. Sir, good morning.
Magandang umaga sa'yo, Cito. Wala pang natapusan yung problema ng sibuyas na yan.
Good morning, and Sec Manny, tatanungin ka lang namin. Well, thank you for coming to the rescue. Pero matanong lang namin, ano ba ang mga views mo, observations mo regarding the planned filing of economic sabotage charges regarding onion smugglers? Ito ba ay wish ko lang or highly possible?
Alam mo, hanggat hindi natin na-implement yung institutional reform sa ating marketing system, Cito, yan yung mga panandalian lang yan na solusyon. Babalik at babalik yan. You know, the onion problem was one of the problems I encountered when I was Secretary of Agriculture. At that time, kontrolado ng mga onion traders yung mga warehouses, yung cold storage. So, ang ginagawa nila, pag panahon ng tag-ani, sasabihin nila sa mga farmers, puno yung bodega namin nang bibilhin nila na mura. And then mag-i-import sila para punuin yung bodega nila. So ang pinakaunang problema na kinaharap ko actually, this was December, I remember December 2016. Tinulungan pa ako ni then Congressman Martin Romualdez na mag-organize. Kinausap namin yung SM, Robinsons, Pacific Tuna, Century Tuna, lahat ng malalaking mga kumpanya. At ipinaharap ko sa kanila yung mga onion farmers. So nagkaroon kami ng market right away. The second thing that I did, miniting ko yung mga importers. At harap-harapan, sabi ko sa kanila, I will not allow you to import during the harvest season. At saka sabi ko, tatanong ko sa inyo, magkano ang landed cost ng inyong sibuyas? So when we were able to determine kung magkano ang landed cost, nag-set kami ng SRP, 60 pesos per kilo. Sabi ko sa kanila, pag lumagpas, pag nakita akong lumagpas sa presyo dyan sa merkado, I will not issue import permits for you. Now, why am I telling you this? Because as I see things right now, everything has gotten out of hand. Hindi na makontrol Now, there are three things actually, Cito, which should be remembered, in confronting this problem. There are three things, Isa lang yung smuggling. Number two is hoarding. Number three is profiteering. Kasi walang mag-i-smuggle ng sibuyas kung alam nila na hindi sila kikita. Kaya minamanipulate nila yung supply ng sibuyas sa Pilipinas by controlling the cold storages sapagkat yun yung pamamaraan para makontrol nila yung supply ng sibuyas. Ma-discourage sa mga farmers to produce more. And in the process, since mataas ang presyo ng sibuyas, everybody is involved in smuggling. Now, the problem here is that during my time as Secretary of Agriculture, upon the recommendation of Senator Cynthia Villar, pagkatapos ng kanilang Senate investigation, ni-recommenda nila na isuspend over 30 importers of garlic and onion. Isa dyan si Lea Cruz, yung sinasabi nilang queen ng sibuyas saka bawang. I suspended over 30 of them. Suspended. Ibig sabihin, hindi sila pwedeng mag-import, hindi sila pwedeng mag-transact sa DA sapagkat they were banned from the DA. Ang nakakapagtataka, pagkatapos kong umalis, nakabalik yung mga yon. In fact, nakita pa nga si Lea Cruz kasama-sama ng dating DA Secretary si William Dar na meron pa silang ginagawang mga kadiwa. How can you possibly collaborate with a known smuggler? No, so anyway, ang sinasabi kong institutional reform, Cito, hanggat hindi natin nabibigyan ng access yung ating mga magsasaka ng sibuyas doon sa cold storage, hanggat walang ahensya ng gobyerno na bumibili ng kanilang produkto para makontrol yung presyo, patuloy at babalik-balik yan. Yung investigation right now, they can prosecute. But for as long as there is profit, there will always be smuggling.
Okay, how were you able to determine the veracity or kung gaano katotoo yung mga documents nila, pricing nila, etc.? Because I was suggesting earlier when I was doing my monologue that the BIR can simply and the DOJ can investigate yung mga documents on shippings, arrivals, declarations, para malaman kung sino talaga yung nag-i-smuggle. May problema ba yun? Mahirap bang gawin yun or hindi epektibo?
No, actually, hindi naman mahirap gawin Kanya lang, the most effective way of addressing this problem is by setting a cap on the pricing of onion in the market. Sapagkat kung halimbawa sabihin na, sige, walang lalagpas sa 100, Kapag yan pinatupad ng DTI at ng DA, SRP, at saka stricto, at under the threat na kapag meron diyang nagbebenta ng mahigit 100 sa palengke, I will not allow you to import anymore. Alam mo, kilala yung mga importer, hindi naman yan mga multo na hindi mo kilala. Kilala in fact, I was summoning them every time na may problema in the past. Kilala ko yung mga yan. At saka sinasabi ko talaga sa kanila, sabi ko, don't play with me, okay? Huwag niyo akong paglaruan sapagkat hindi ako pwede paglaruan. The moment na may makita akong presyo mahigit 60 pesos, lahat ng inyong import permits suspended. So under the threat of suspension ng ilang import permits, walang lalagpas ng 60. What I'm saying here, Cito, is that, we can talk and talk. We can make a campaign and make a campaign for as long as we are not vigilant, walang mangyayari dyan.
Okay, pero what do you think is the reason na it is now import at will, corruption at will?
Well, ang daming mga factors. Number one, siyempre, ang lusutan dyan, Bureau of Customs. At that time that I was Secretary of Agriculture, buenas ako sapagkat partner ko si Sid La Peña. Kami mismo ang nagre-raid ng mga dumarating na mga containers. Alam mo kasi, yung mga sibuyas na yan, minsan lulusot yan sa port dahil mukhang apples yung hugis. Di ba? Pagdaan yan sa x-ray, parang apple. So, kapag emails lang ang tinignan mo, lulusot yung smuggled na onions. Pero napakabobo mo naman kung hindi mo maamoy yung sibuyas.
Lalo na kung isang container.
Of course. Malayo ka pa alam mo na yung sibuyas eh. So, ibig sabihin, may kunayban sa Legion Sports. And kaya gumagalaw yan. Dahil may pera eh.
Okay, now, so you're saying, kasi nabasa ko, I actually read this in the Philippine Star, where the DOJ secretary is saying they have to catch them in the act or red-handed. Is that correct?
That's a legal issue, no? I'm not a lawyer. Pero kung akong tatanungin mo, paano mahihinto yan? Put a cap on the price of onion in the market, whether local or imported, hanggang dyan ka lang. Tingnan ko kung may mag-smuggle pa.
Okay. Now, paano ba nila nakokontrol? Like you were saying, itong cold storage. Yung cold storage ban, wala ba yung government supervision? Because may lumapit sa akin just last week and sabi sa akin, Kuyang, hindi kami makalaban dyan sa mga smuggler na yan. Kasi ang requirement ng BAI para makapag-import ka ng mga grains o ng mga onions, etc., kailangan may cold storage facility ka. Kung gusto mo lang mag-trading at fast break lang, mag-i-import ka, bebenta mo, bakit kailangan pa namin may cold storage? How essential or important is the cold storage requirement and who controls it?
Okay. If you remember earlier, I mentioned about institutional reforms.
Yeah.
Actually, karamihan ng mga cold storage na yan, pagmamayari ng gobyerno. Noble intention to help the onion farmers. But what we missed, actually, is the fact that pag-harvest ni farmer, siyempre mababa ang presyo dyan. Kailangan ilagay niya sa cold storage para mag-antay ng mataas-taas na presyo. Ang problema dyan, the harvest time and the selling time, walang kapital si farmer na pwedeng ipanuwal. So ngayon, nangyari ngayon, yung cold storage na ipinatayo ng gobyerno para sa kanila, pinaupahan nila sa cartel, sa mga negosyante. So yung negosyante ngayon nagko-control. So maski merong cold storage ng gobyerno, hindi pa rin nagbago yung sitwasyon ng mga onion farmers because they don't have access to those cold storage facilities. Now, ang problema pa natin dyan, sabi ko nga, kailangan kumplituhin natin yung value chain. You finance the farmer, you make sure that the farmers association or cooperative will be able to store their onion while waiting for a good price. Kasi sabay-sabay mag-aani yan So sabay-sabay mag-aani, sobrang supply sa merkado. So, kailangan i-store mo yung iba. Di ba?
Okay.
Ang sibuyas hindi pwedeng hindi i-store. Masisira. But since walang pera yung association ng mga farmers o yung mga farmers mismo para mag-antay ng 6 na buwan o 8 buwan bago nila ibenta uli yung kanilang sibuyas, napipilitan sila ngayon na ibenta na lang outright yung kanilang sibuyas at paupahan yung cold storage doon sa mga cartel. And that's the reason why kontrolado ng cartel yung negosyo ng sibuyas sa Pilipinas. So pagdating ng panahon ng anihan, sasabihin na sa mga farmers, hindi nakapag-import kami, mamura ngayon. So bebenta ni farmer na mababa. Pagdating ng walang anihan, can you imagine from a low of 20 pesos per kilo, ibebenta mo ng 700 pesos yung sibuyas.
If that is the situation, kung ganon kalapad o kalawak yung band for manipulation, why is the government not simply buying the onion or subsidizing part of the onion, storing the onion in the cold storage facilities that they own, and then subsequently doing profit share with the farmers and farmers association? Kasi kung 25 per kilo lang naman ang value ng sibuyas at mabebenta mo ng 60 o 100, etc., pati gobyerno kikita.
Cito, sagutin ko yung tanong mo. Anong ahensya ng gobyerno ang bibili ng sibuyas? Di ba matagal ko na binabalik-balik, ibalik ninyo yung Food Terminal Incorporated. Sapagkat yun ang pwedeng ahensya ng gobyerno na mamimili ng mga produkto ng mga magsasaka. Hindi lang sibuyas. Pati ibang basic commodities sa kailangan ng pamilyang Pilipino on a daily basis. Sapagkat kung walang ahensya ng gobyerno na mamimili ng sibuyas, sino bibili yan? Maganda yung konsepto, yung idea. But who's gonna do it? The DA cannot do it.
Why can't the DA not do it? Hindi ko kabisado, Sec, no? Para ma-explain mo lang.
As of the moment, ang mandato ng NFA ay buffer stocking agency lang for rice. Kinapon siya ng RTL. And ang FTI, although it is there, existing on paper, is actually a moribund trading agency of government. But look, if we can reactivate FTI, set up buying stations all over the country where basic food commodities needed by the Filipino families are bought and then redistributed in the urban centers, in the population centers. Etong lahat ng mga cartel na mawawala yan. Walang magkokontrol ng presyo ng gulay, walang magkokontrol ng presyo ng manok, walang magkokontrol ng presyo ng karne ng baboy, sibuyas, bawang, asukal, sapagkat kayang-kayang laruin niya ng FTI sapagkat hindi profit ang kanilang motivation. Kaya
hindi ba pwedeng ipagbawal ang paggamit ng cold storage facilities for imported onions and the likes or garlic, at dapat ay paggamit lang sa local farmers and associations? Kasi kung ganon, mapipilitan din yung importers, bibili na lang sila sa local farmers.
Madaling sabihin, Cito Pero ipaggamit mo yung cold storage sa mga magsasaka. Yung bang magsasaka na umani ng sibuyas ngayon, makapag-antay ba ng 6 na buwan yan? Itatago niya sa cold storage yung kanya sibuyas. May babayaran ng tuition ng anak yan. May babayaran niya ng utang doon sa financier niya. So kailangan niyang ibenta. Kaya nga dapat ang pinakamagandang setup dyan, organize yung onion farmers. They have their own cold storage at merong financial backing yung cold storage para pag-deliver ni farmer at the time of harvest, bibigyan siya ng partial payment o based on existing price. And then, idideposito niya yung kanyang sibuyas para lang mabayaran niya yung mga utang niya, yung mga hiniram niya na pera, tuition ng anak. And then, when the time comes na tataas yung presyo ng sibuyas, he could come back and say, hey, I'm surrendering my deposit slip. Ito yung aking pinapabaya ko na sa inyo yung aking 20 tons na sibuyas. Bigyan niyo ako ng presyo ngayon. Di ba?
Okay, now, sabi mo kanina, Sec Manny Piñol, we should put a price cap sa retail ng sibuyas para matigil yung price manipulation and importation. What about a limit on the volume of imported onion? Pwede ba yun or wala naman talagang magbabantay?
Pwede, but if you are the DA, you have to be vigilant. Hindi pwede. well, of course, I cannot expect the president now, who is the concurrent DA secretary, to make rounds of the markets. But modesty aside, Cito, when I was Secretary of Agriculture, I made rounds of the market. Incognito. Iniikot ko yung merkado, titignan ko yung presyo ng bigas, titignan ko yung presyo ng sibuyas, and so on and so forth. Now, you have to do that if you want to lead an agency and be effective. You really have to have hands-on control, no, of your department. So ang sinasabi ko diyan, alam mo, isa ako doon sa mga sa mga early on sumusuporta talaga doon sa idea na si President Bongbong Marcos ang maging DA secretary, sapagkat ang pananaw ko noon, kung siya ang DA secretary, makakakuha siya ng mga pondo na kailangan ng departamento at lahat ng gusto niya ipatupad as DA secretary, walang senador na pwedeng humarang. Ang problema, yung dalawang undersecretary niya nag-aaway. Paano siya magtatrabaho niyan?
Paano nag-aaway?
Ha?
Paano nag-aaway, Sek?
Mabuti
No, let's call a spade kasi nakakapagod na rin eh. Gusto natin silang tulungan, ayaw magpa-interview, ayaw magbigay ng statement, tapos yung DOJ nakaschedule mag-interview today, hindi nagpakita at 10 minutes after the show. So, you know, what are they squabbling about? Para malaman ng taong bayan.
Of course, yung siyempre turf. 'Di ba? Turf. Kaya nga naglabas ng memorandum ang Malacanang si Secretary Lucas Bersamin defining the functions of Ding Panganiban, defining the functions of Leo Sebastian. Sapagkat nagbabanggaan eh. Ngayon ang problema diyan, since sila mismo sa taas nagbabanggaan, paano how do you expect the department to work efficiently when the two high-ranking undersecretaries do not see eye to eye? You know, I'm in the bukid right now. I'm going to my soybeans farm actually. But I stopped for this interview. Kung ako mismo na taga-bundok, na alam ko na nag-aaway yung inside the DA, paano naman kayong taga-media, hindi nyo alam yan?
Eh, paano na malalaman? Ayaw nga makipag-usap sa amin eh.
Mabuti pa ako maraming marites sa bundok.
Wala eh. Alam mo naman, ikaw dati kang media practitioner. Hindi kami pwedeng umasa sa marites. Kailangan official sources. Kung hindi, mababanatan din kami.
Hindi, actually totoo yan. Ako, confirm ko yan officially. I'm confirming that the problem of the DA right now is the feud between the two highest-ranking undersecretaries of the Department of Agriculture.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have left, Secretary Piñol. Ikaw na lang ang tawagin ko, Secretary, kasi at least ikaw available. Thank you very much for bailing me out. And more than that, for giving us a mouthful and a handful of information that otherwise Filipinos would not have an access to. Maraming salamat, Sec.
Salamat sa'yo, brother. Thank you.
Okay, yan po si Secretary or former Secretary Manny Piñol, who is now a devoted, dedicated farmer and who had kindly bailed us this morning. Let's now go to our final blessing for the week, and it comes from the second book of Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 10. Now he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will supply and multiply your seed for sowing and increase the harvest of your righteousness. Thank you very much, dear God, for a wonderful week. And we pray that all of you who watch Agenda will have a great weekend. Relax lang. Huwag magagalit. May araw din sila. Okay? God bless all of you. Please keep it here on One News.